Is a 30-year veteran of media production. He started his career working in Hollywood and disengaged from the media and relocated to Utah. Patrick ventured into indie film producing with a documentary, Forward 13, Waking Up the American Dream. This led to his foray as producer into long television called The Con. Patrick has given his life and his talent to exposing some of the most despicable crimes of greed. Please welcome Patrick.
Mic check, mic check. I was asked by Sarah to speak loudly, and I warn you guys in the front, I've got a loud voice. When fascism tries to turn down the volume, you amplify the dropkick Murphy's wing of the party and turn it up. This has got to be one of the most beautiful sights I have ever seen in my life, and I can assure you, living in Utah, I've seen plenty of them. Looking around at these signs, for example, amplifying what we're all feeling, is exactly what those guys on the other side need to understand, that when the people stand united, we will not be defeated. Just a quick word of thanks for Sarah and all the people that are activists, that volunteer, and everyone who comes together to actually show their strength and their courage to bring it, because that's what we're in the midst of in a massive way. Because I don't think there's anything more powerful than people coming together face to face, not filtered by the algorithms or manipulated by tech bros platforms, standing shoulder to shoulder with one message, that we're going to bring freedom and liberty and justice for all back to the game. This past April, 10,000 of us stood at the state capitol on a bluebird day under those magnificent Wasatch Peaks, united in our refusal to accept Donald Trump's crimes and the billionaire captured Project 2025. But since then, as we all know, things have only escalated. We watched as masked and unmarked ICE patrols storm our streets. And of course, on Thursday, Senator Alex Padilla was arrested, among others. But we've also seen citizens across this country, from San Diego and Minneapolis and New Jersey, and of course, right here in Salt Lake City, with the head-on courage that inspires us all, because courage is contagious. I'm going to tell you something that we all know, but it bears repeating. We are living under an illegitimate administration, criminals and clowns enabled by a corrupt Supreme Court that twisted the 14th Amendment to let an insurrectionist run for president. They betrayed the Constitution that says clearly no person engaged in an insurrection shall hold office, but the Supreme Court made Trump king, and now he invokes the Insurrection Act to terrorize immigrants and dissenters alike. Amen. And so it feels surreal. But my friends, I'm going to tell you what you all know, but you've got to say it loud. The explanation is clear. It's corruption. It's corruption of our courts. It's corruption of our media. It's corruption of the Supreme Court. It's the corruption of the American soul. Like many of you, I watched the results on election eve and I couldn't sleep. I felt like I got kicked in the stomach by a donkey, and those words of David Byrne haunted me. My God, what have we done? But now we have our answer. Trump has weaponized our institutions and unleashed the stormtroopers of Doge and crypto grifters, the fascist tech billionaires like Peter Thiel acting as evil overlords, and together they've built a pay-to-play network inside the Treasury, hijacked federal data, and turned our government into a criminal enterprise where full-scale looting by a criminal crony capitalist structure has privatized profit to rule over our democracy. Meanwhile, lawless ICE agents kidnap law-abiding immigrants in cities across America, and while Trump throws himself a military parade like some cartoon dictator, this is about law and order?
No way! Fuck
My friends, behind corruption is fascism, but it's corruption that is illegal and unconstitutional.
Yes!
Since Trump took office, he has backdoored over $10 billion to his personal empire with nobody stopping him. This is what happens when criminals take over. So what do we do? What can we do? We fight! And by fight, I don't mean violence.
Right.
I mean what I've learned through the 13-year odyssey that I've been on, from the great financial crisis to Occupy Wall Street and now this authoritarian disaster. What is the answer? We have got to build a movement like this with a moral spine. I'm here to introduce the new Untouchables. It is a platform of legal experts to lead the charge that will turn the tables on Steve Bannon and Russell Vought's flood the zone strategy by flooding the zone in reverse. And since we're on campus, think of it as a Kyle Whittingham defense en route to the Rose Bowl. These real-life heroes were prosecutors and regulators and whistleblowers and journalists who have dedicated their lives to law and justice to stop rot at its source, and people who encompass the integrity of the law of this nation, led primarily by William K. Black, the Michael Jordan of criminology, who put away 7,000 white-collar criminals during the savings and loan crisis. Paul Pelletier, the former DOJ white-collar chief who showed the DOJ how to effectively tackle elite-collar corruption before Donald Trump turned the DOJ into his private law firm. People like June Carbone, a law professor and experienced litigator at the Department of Justice in the famous unit that defends constitutionality of federal laws and programs. And finally, Mark Dan, the only state AG in the United States to take down a RICO conviction during the 2008 financial crisis, which was the largest RICO in history. These people know how to take the bad guys down, and that's why we're building this. And what we're going to do is we're going to protect everybody who doesn't have the counsel pro bono, coast to coast. But we need your help also. We're urging state legislatures to subpoena Elon Musk now. The evidence is there. Trump and Musk's quid pro quo was not just criminal, it happened in front of all of our eyes. SCOTUS says we need intent, we've got it, right in the open. We're also sending bat signal to whistleblowers inside tech industries and inside the administration, where we will build airtight lawsuits that can be used pro bono to hold this criminal network accountable outside of the reach of the Department of Justice. We're protecting the vulnerable, small businesses crushed by unconstitutional tariffs, families terrorized by ICE, veterans and retirees targeted by budget cuts meant to fund billionaire tax breaks, and we're going to turn the tables on the propaganda by tech bros by going after Section 230 that protects the defamation, intimidation, deception, and the proliferation of propaganda that goes unchecked to confuse and demoralize those who are trapped in the doom loop. My friends, we are a corollary, a parallel to this movement. We're going to flood the zone in reverse to build real cases with real teeth to dismantle the Frankenstein monster of corruption that gave birth to Trumpism. And on this fateful No King's Day, we have to build the movement with the moral spine akin to Thomas Paine's exact strategy in 1776 that caused our original national movement. Thomas Paine said, "In America, the law is king. For as in absolute governments, the king is law. So in free countries, the law ought to be king, and there ought to be no other." And as we all know, Paine warned us that these are the times that try men's souls. But if you think back 250 years ago to his writing, he also said this in the next sentence: "The more men have to lose, the less they are willing to venture. The rich are in general slaves to fear and submit to courtly power with the trembling duplicity of a spaniel. Trump is not the only coward. His crowd of predatory billionaire CEO supporters are with him in trembling duplicity of a Cocker Spaniel." And I apologize for insulting Cocker Spaniels compared to Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. So in closing, what we need to move forward with is a movement as relentless and righteous as the civil rights movement, as bold as the suffragettes, as strategic as the New Deal, and as fierce as the American Revolution that Tom Paine energized, because that's the moment we're in. And this time, we call it the Clean New Deal. When we, the people, unite in a movement to turn the tables on corruption and the fascism that it fuels, we will redeem the dream, and we will create the re-emergence for liberty and justice for all. But since I broke through the algorithm to get face-to-face with thousands of you and hopefully millions around the country, we need to communicate. We have built a website where if you know people that are victims of ICE, people that are victims of Doge, people or organizations victims of everything I said, please reach out to me. And the way you do that is you can find us at the New Untouchables on Substack, YouTube. You can find me on Patrick Lovell Truth Bombs the Con. We've got a website, thecleannewdeal.org. And of course our work, thecon.tv, lays it all out, and it's free. Millions had their heads in the sand. But now is the time to rise like the mighty Wasatch and shake off the lies to awaken the greatness of we the people. The 17th century libertarian philosopher Bastiat observed, when a group of men discover plunder, they create a legal code to authorize it and a moral code to glorify it. What we know is that when you have character, dignity, decency, integrity, equality, and sustainability, that there's nothing we can't defeat together. When the people stop buying lies, that's when light overcomes the darkness. And when we unite, every last one of us not wearing a swastika, when we champion dignity and everything I just mentioned, we become a nuclear reaction for truth. We smash the lies, we burn off the corruption, and that's when freedom will ring from sea to shining sea.
are leaving today to make sure you take your signs. Don't